Hey guys, welcome to Mad Acre Farms Farm Cooperative. This is something that we're trying new where we go live one Thursday out of the month to talk all aspects of farming. This is going to give us the ability to learn and grow from one another. I'm Ryan, this beautiful lady beside me, that's my wife Jamie, and we're Mad Acre Farms.
Hi guys, how you doing? Can everybody hear us okay? AJ Lewis, Lydia Robertson, can you guys hear us?
Give us a thumbs up. I'm going to take the silence as you guys can hear it just fine.
All right. How about that intro of Ryan's, huh? So excited. He's been practicing that for months.
I have. I'm not going to lie.
4 months.
Knocked it out the park too.
Oh, shoot. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. We absolutely appreciate it. Can't thank you guys enough for the love and the support. It means it means the world to us. And since you're here, if you don't mind, if you could hit that like button for us, and if you could share and
tell a million friends or two.
Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button for us. We would certainly appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Let's see who we got here in the chat here. Looks like we've got some good peeps in here.
Yeah.
All right. So full transparency, we may screw up some names here. We're known for that. And we just want to give some shout out to some of these folks here. And let me take a look at the chat here. And it looks like we've got Blockade.
Blockade, what's up?
We've got Aaron.
Aaron. What?
Oh, and then we got, who is that,
Ryan? Jaquilin. If you guys haven't seen Jaquilin videos, I would definitely recommend going and check out her channel. She put out some really nice videos.
We're just kidding.
Yeah, just joking, guys. If you guys haven't seen that skit, that's
Key and Peele, substitute teacher. Make sure you check it out. We do have some great people in the chat tonight. We've got AJ Lewis and we've got Lydia Robertson that are helping us be our moderators in the old chat. So thank you guys very much. We literally cannot do this without you.
We love you guys. We want to remind you guys, make sure you keep it PG because they will kick you out.
Yep, they are no play.
So keep it PG. This is a family-friendly event. So,
all right, looks like we got Jordan Luke's in the house. We've got Corey and we've got Amy. Looks like we've got Brooklyn's Honeybees. Shout out to Brooklyn's Honeybees. If you guys haven't checked them out, you guys should totally check out Brooklyn's Honeybees. Oh, look, we've got Celtic Roots Farm. You guys, they have a fantastic channel.
Awesome channel.
Yep. And Brooklyn's Honeybees as well. Thank you guys for joining. We can't thank you guys enough for the support. Oh, it looks like we got Savannah in the house here. So everybody, if you make sure you guys, our mods will drop your channels if you have one in the chat. And you guys definitely swing over to some of these folks' channels and check them out because I would say we've learned a lot from these channels.
Yeah, and as you guys know, the farming is difficult, but also the YouTube game is even harder. So definitely go out there, show your support because these people put out content on a weekly basis to share not only their experience, but their knowledge to you guys. So those who are interested in farming and the sustainable lifestyle could learn. So we appreciate you guys for stopping in. We love you. And I'm going to turn that back over to Jamie. I'm going to shut my mouth.
Jordan just called me out and said that I pronounced his name wrong. Why do I always pronounce your name wrong, Jordan?
You know what, Jordan?
It's Lucas.
That is earned because you was a Judas. You was a Judas, Jordan. Don't forget that video. So you deserve that. Just kidding, Jordan. I would correct your name for you. I was going to correct it, but I didn't.
It looks like we also got Savannah in the house too. Savannah, thanks for joining us. All right, we have some really great people here. So thank you guys again for for just the time. We appreciate it. And tonight's topic, we are going to touch base on generational farms. And I will say that for me, kind of talking about the farming aspect of things, I was a little nervous about it. It took you 20 years?
20 years, yes.
20 years to convince me to really jump into this journey. And I'd say I was nervous because of the lack of knowledge that we have. We really didn't come from big farming backgrounds.
None whatsoever.
Yeah. And so that honestly, I think it was my fear of failure. And that really that made me nervous. But this last year has been such an amazing growth for us. And I think that I know that we should have done this a lot sooner.
Yes.
We really should have. And I can understand why people do this. And if we have any folks in the chat that have that generational family background where you have some suggestions, let us know. Drop it in the chat. But I'd say it's important for us now, just because I see why people want to pass this on. Like this feeling, I see why this feeling, why it's important to pass it on. It's legacy,
Yes. And I'm wearing my Dorsey legendary shirt. This is for my cousin who actually is passing on his father legacy. But I will say that a wise man once said that everybody have different ingredients, and your end product may not be the same. Some people may have flour, egg, milk, and sugar, and able to make a cake, and some people might have some cornmeal and they make cornbread.
Yeah.
So it took us a time to get here, but we're here now. I love it. And
so first and foremost, Ryan got that from AJ Lewis's page.
First of all, don't be putting my business on the street.
He totally robbed that from AJ Lewis's video. So just so you know, AJ Lewis, he took that from you.
She always rained on my parade. I was supposed to sound like a wise Buddhist monk or something. So I was throwing out knowledge there, and you just rained on that parade. But all seriousness, the farming aspect, it has always been a passion and a dream of mine, because I, for some reason, always wanted to be with the land. But it became even greater when I had a son. Not because I plan to be a millionaire or anything like that farming, but I want to actually pass something down that could create a sustainable financial future for future Madison's, for multiple generations. And some of you guys may be questioning, what is a generational farm? It's just what it says. It's a farm that a parent owns, and they pass it down to their children, and the children pass it down to their children, maintaining that, not only that namesake, but a staple in the community. How you get there, there's different frameworks when it comes to wills and trusts. We won't get into that because we're not lawyers. But how our framework works is, we're not pushing our child to become a farmer. In fact, it's a totally opposite. We want him to go out, get an education, get a career, build his foundation, and the farming can be something secondary to creating an income for him, or it can be primary if he chooses to. But it's something that we will have set up, that it's going to stay in the family, and it has to stay in the family. Something can't be sold off. And there's a lot of different unique stories out there when it comes to generational farm. Our neighbors down the street, we did a video with, they have a generational farm.
Well, look at Brooklyn's honeybees. He wants to do the same thing. He wants to, awesome. He said, I only really started my beekeeping journey a few years ago, so it's all new to me, but really hope I get to hand it down to my kids and their kids. So it's
our kids are a passion, when I was young, I never really take notice of what my mother was doing for me. but now as an adult, you look back and you see all the sacrifices that your parents made for you. And you just want to make that sacrifice for them to give your kids a better life, and that's what we're doing here. Now, there's a unique story, a channel that we follow, Osiadacz Family Farm, and they have an amazing story.
Mhm.
Jamie's
They do.
going to tell you a little bit about it, and we're going to let
I will.
her introduce it.
I will. But before we jump on that, Celtic Roots, another great channel. They're good. So Brooklyn's Honeybees and Celtic Roots, folks on the chat here, I would highly recommend heading over to those channels and checking them out. They're good channels. They're solid channels.
An
So
educational channel.
yeah, so
I have learned a lot from Celtic Roots. I'm not going to fib. I have the aerator idea, Celtic Roots.
yeah.
So,
But he's just saying people tend to respond to being real and transparent. And it's true, like just showing that and seeing the visibility of it's not perfect. You know what I mean? And,
yeah,
and the mistakes behind it, because other people will learn from your mistakes.
yeah,
Brooklyn's Honeybees, we just watched them today on the candle making.
yes.
That
yeah.
was awesome too. So
And that's something we plan to get into with our honeybees and our beeswax.
Yeah.
And like Celtic Roots saying, the mess ups. We're first generational farmers, and we mess up all the time. I'm not gonna,
Yes.
and sometimes those mess ups can be costly. Farming is costly, so we're learning. So like Jamie said before, any multi-generational farmers out there, make sure you drop some tidbits of information for us new farmers, because we really would like to absorb that information from you guys.
Yep. So you guys, we're gonna bring on Osiadacz Farm here, and I'd like to introduce you guys to her. So let me go ahead and share a little bit about Osiadacz Family Farm here, and then we'll bring Miss Laura on so she can talk a little bit more about her farm.
Welcome to Osiadacz Family Farm. My name is Laura, and this is where we balance back to basics living in a modern world. The story of this farm started over 100 years ago with the marriage of two young Croatian immigrants, John and Ivka Sagoda.
John and Ivka Sagoda grew and raised food to feed their family on our small farm.
That's our history. It is now time for us to protect this legacy for future generations.
All right, before we bring Laura on, I mean, you guys, this is a really great story. And this was a farm that was out of the family, and then it had come back. And Laura and her family were able to bring that back in. So she has quite the story. So I'm going to bring Laura here and welcome her to Mad Acre Live.
Hello.
How we doing?
A little nervous, but I am so happy to be here. And I just, before I start talking about our property, I just wanted to really say thank you to both Ryan and Jamie for just really, I'm new to YouTube, so being a friend and somebody to help me along the way. So I really appreciate that sense of community that you've, reached out to me. So thank you.
Yes.
So Osiadacz Family Farm. It was, our house was first built over 100 years ago when my husband's great-grandfather immigrated to the United States from Croatia, and he was a coal miner. He wasn't actually a farmer. Really, this was a farm so they could survive. So it wasn't to earn a living. It was so they could eat. And they had roughly 2 acres. And on this land, they had chickens, they had meat cows, they had milk cows, they had hogs, and a huge, huge garden. And this property had actually been split up over the years. So because there was lots of kids and it got handed off to different kids along the way, the house that we live now was sold out of family for about a decade. And my husband and I, over the last 15 to 20 years, have slowly purchased all the land back. And just 2 years ago was actually able to buy the home back. So
Wow.
it's just really, really important. And we take a lot of pride in being able to bring this entire property back into the family.
That's amazing story there, Lori. And my hat goes off to you guys because
Yeah.
when we bought our farm, it was quite the endeavor. Now, what made you guys, what was the deciding factor of you guys acquiring this farm back?
Yeah.
I mean, it was both of us. It was both my husband and myself. We both are, really have a passion for history and for the family heritage, both on his side and my side. But that actually started, I would say I was probably more, I wanted to do this more than he did. And I haven't shared this on YouTube yet, or with a lot of people that, are friends of mine know this, but I actually grew up about 50 miles away, and my dad's family actually had a homestead there. And growing up, my sister was really sick. She had multiple liver transplants, and we actually had to sell everything.
Wow.
And it was really devastating to me I don't want to tear up
No.
to lose that. And so I just really wanted to have that for my husband, to be able to bring that back.
That's amazing, because honestly, like, Laura, like, I feel that, like, I get it now. Like, that, it totally makes sense to me, just the purpose behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And the meaning that it has. I mean, we have some family showing us some love here in the chat, and there was a comment that my brother actually is here. Say hi, and we appreciate the support. But it was we had animals when we were younger, and those, like a little farm. It wasn't a farm, but it was more like having goats, chickens, and that kind of thing. And those memories will stick with you forever.
Yeah. Forever.
So I get it.
Yeah. And what's amazing about your family story is your father's great-grandfather was doing homesteading and farmsteading before homesteading and farmsteading. And one unique thing about it, watching your channel, that I saw was he had a passion for community, and not only his local community, but the community back in Croatia. So when people would come over, he would assist in getting them grounded and foundation in the area. I guess my question is, how are you guys growing on that portion of the legacy to keeping that portion of the legacy alive?
Yeah, absolutely. So, both my husband and I volunteer a lot in the community. He actually just retired. We live in a town of under 1,000 people. So it's a small community, and our fire department is completely ran on volunteers. And so we dedicate, most people are like, what do you do for fun? Besides working here on our property, we volunteer in the community. So we just do a lot of volunteer work, trying to give back. I'm also a volunteer firefighter. So just trying, I know, and something else.
Like, we need to work on what's wrong with you? Why are you not? Laura, you're amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. I'm just gonna give my hats off to first responders, give them a round of applause. I will say we have an incident here, so we'll talk about that.
You're amazing, Laura.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's awesome. Sorry, we interrupted. Keep going.
No, we just really enjoy our community, and to us, our community is like a big family, and so just everybody helps each other out. So we help people out, but they help us out too. So we try to keep that alive. Obviously we don't have there's not. This was a coal mining town at that time when he was bringing new families, sponsoring new families coming from Croatia and Yugoslavia, and he was amazing. And they would grow food, and because they had such an abundant garden, that they would, help their neighbors if they were, short on meat or eggs or produce. We're not quite there yet. I bake bread for people and baked goods, but not quite at that level. But we do certainly have a close-knit community and like to give back in that regard.
And I think that's rural communities all the way around now.
Yeah.
One cool story as well, Lori, that I watched on yours, and I'm gonna bring him up, Uncle Jeff. Now, Uncle Jeff was telling a story, guys, of his grandfather was fixing a pipe or something in the ground. He had a big hole. I'm not for certain how old Uncle Jeff was, but
Nope.
and he tells us well about the apple tree. Can you tell us about this apple tree and the apple tree getting cut down? I go back to this video all the time.
I do too.
Yeah, Uncle Jeff had us rolling.
Yeah, no, and Uncle Jeff is a character. We love having him here, or we go to the local coffee shop and he'll give us his latest story. So he's always full of stories. But the apple tree, it's interesting because living, especially coal miners, and they were hard workers, and they sometimes didn't have a lot of patience. And so the story of the apple tree, I think Uncle Jeff was in elementary school or maybe middle school, but I believe elementary school, and his grandma would make him lunch and things like that. And Uncle Jeff came home and saw his grandpa, who was had black lung and all this stuff from the coal mines, having a rough time, and his nephew was, or his daughter's husband, I guess, was just hanging out under the apple tree drinking vodka, and was not really happy. He wasn't getting any assistance, so he decided that wouldn't happen again. So his solution was to cut down the apple tree.
I didn't put it like that, but I like how you put it.
You guys in the chat, you need to head over to Lori's channel and you guys check out the story. You did a series of stories on the history of the farm. It was absolutely awesome. I love the idea. So you guys go over there and check Laura's story out. It's amazing. And it's just that story had me rolling. Yes. I absolutely love it. But real quick, Celtic roots. Yeah. We had an opportunity to take over my parents' farm in Pennsylvania when Cheryl and I were in our early 20s. We passed it up because we had zero interest in farming. Man, do we kick ourselves now? And I think for that, sometimes you don't get the opportunity to do that again, and then having the ability where it's in front of you, you can do it and really start living those dreams. It's important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when you're that age, it's not something that you think about. I mean, a lot of people want to do hard work. Let's be real with it. Farming is a very labor-intensive work, and sometimes the reward doesn't equate to the benefit, to the amount of work that you put into it. Or a lot of people don't get to see you. See the farmers, so they're unsung heroes. And now on you guys' farm, how big is the actual farm, Laura?
Yeah, so the actual farm piece is just a half an acre, so really small. The part that we actually have our farm on, and honestly, if we didn't have, we actually do have a business. We actually we sell raspberries. So that's why it's actually named Osiadacz Family Farm, is because we have we grow a ton of raspberries here and we sell those. But yeah, so but the rest of it is pretty much just for us. Originally, this property was roughly 2 acres, and we do own the other 1.5 acres, but it's used. We have an empty lot, and we haven't decided what we're going to do with that yet, and that's probably about a half an acre as well. But we have 1 acre of land that was actually turned into a commercial business. So my husband owns a tow company, and that's where we have our storage and all of that. Mm-hmm. But I did want to touch on just because next year during harvest, and I might touch on this in an upcoming video where I'm processing wheat is my mom owns, and you know, it's a trust. So when you're talking about a trust, we actually have a family trust, and it will stay in the family.
That's
We have a
awesome.
large wheat farm.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we, although it's not here where we live, it is where my mom grew up, and that is in a trust for the family. And so, and that's roughly, I want to say that's about 1,500 acres. So it's a big chunk of property.
That's awesome.
So you out there with the big combines and everything?
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's pretty fun. We go out there for harvest in August, and as you saw my son earlier before we went live, but he's getting big now, but it was always super fun for him to go out there and ride on the combines and stuff.
I bet that's an amazing smell. That's fresh wheat as it's being harvested, huh?
Yeah. No, it's cool.
He's nuts. He's nuts. Do you think wheat smells good when it's harvested, Laura?
I don't know. I mean, I guess
solid
I never
no.
really.
You had like you had wheat before.
I'm just saying, no one's like, hey, can I have wheat?
Laura, she has very much hate in her blood when we do these shows. So, but I'm just saying that it's like fresh cut grass.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's actually, I find it beautiful.
See?
More than the smell. I love the way it looks when it's going through the machine and when it's coming out of the top, and I just think it's really pretty.
I bet you it is pretty. Yeah. Hey, so we've got some more people in the chat here, Rhino. We've got Down Under Fulla. Thanks for joining. We've got Sweeney Creeks in the house.
What's up, Sweeney Creeks?
We've got Anglerholics. Thank you guys for joining.
I just want to go ahead and throw out a challenge to Anglerholics. Once I get my fishing game up, get my lures, and get my fishing poles, I will be throwing down a challenge. So you guys beware. I am going to be up in my fishing game. Just
so you know, I'm pretty sure Ryan hasn't caught anything bigger than a bluegill.
That's all right. I can buy it from the store and fake it.
No.
Yes.
No. You know what? They could totally accept you on that challenge, and they will smoke you.
But yeah, if you guys haven't watched their channel, they do have an amazing channel. They pull out some really huge fish.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yes.
They've got some good ideas. So check them out. Check them out. I said sounds good.
But so I know you.
Celtic says they like the smell of cow. Is that Laura?
I'm going to pass on that one.
You can't do that either. No.
I would say rabbit manure or goat manure just because it's a pellet, but cow dung. I don't know about that one.
And then Down Under Fulla does a lot of the last video that I saw. He was traveling through Australia and just showing the lay of the land. So you guys check out their his channel there too, because you can really see some really pretty cool stuff. And then shout out to Sweeney's Creek, because they had a scones video that topped the chart. You guys are killing it with that scones video. That's awesome.
They're gonna have to send us some. We're not really strong cooks in this household. I hold my own, but I do have a handicap when it comes to cooking.
Hey, that's okay. I'll admit it.
But Laura does put out some amazing video. The
Laura.
simple syrup with the lemon balm.
Oh my, that was a really great video. And you said you use it in teas, don't you?
Teas. I make like a homemade soda out of it. So I use like seltzer water, and you can add a little vodka. We were talking about vodka earlier. It's not bad that way either. So no, it's really tasty. And one of the things for me is almost everything I do or make is really pretty easy, because I don't have enough time to do anything too complex. So I try to use everything that we grow and find creative ways to use it, but it's not, as far as for the novice, it's pretty easy for people to follow.
Before I ask this next question, Laura, on my mind, I wanted to point out what Corey there said. I can't wait to open a loaf of whole wheat bread in front of you and watch your knees buckle.
Oh, this one right here, Corey. Ryan, I can't wait to open up a loaf of whole wheat bread in front of you and watch your knees buckle because of the smell.
Exactly.
That is awesome.
But so besides the raspberries and the lemon balm, what else you grow on your farm there?
Yeah, so this is actually this is just our second year growing. So we've had some successes, we've had some failures. We grow a lot of beans, so a lot of the yellow beans, a lot of the green beans. You saw the carrots. I haven't done, and I would like to hear your thoughts on this. I haven't grown anything like potatoes or anything like that because I feel like you can get them fairly inexpensive at the grocery store. Like so I try to like grow things that would help save money on our grocery bill. Herbs, tomatoes, lots and lots of tomatoes. But I haven't been very successful in things like broccoli and cauliflower. I had a total dud year. But yeah, so mostly vegetables. And then we have tons of fruit trees. As I think I talked about this in one of the videos, but there is tons of fruit trees here and tons of bear because of the fruit trees.
You said bear, Laura, bear?
Bear. Yeah, we have lots and lots of bear. They go through our yard all the time because of the fruit trees. So we have these, big, pies left by the bear with the fruit in them and all that.
Yeah.
Don't want to go too far down that road for you guys, but so lots of fruit trees and really the fruit is used, for all kinds of stuff, but it was used mostly to make like wine and stuff like that back in the day. So I would love to, my husband actually years ago made wine out of it. He's more domestic than I am. So I think I may have him teach me how to make the wine as well as I'm planning on having him teach me how to preserve food in different ways, such as like through the pressure canner and stuff like that, because he has tons of experience. I don't.
Yeah, same here. Neither one of us have any experience, but our parents do.
I think my dad knows how to make moonshine.
I don't know about that one. I'm not going to advertise that. But
do you see Amy? Amy says potatoes are easy. Purple potatoes would be good to grow. So
I agree. They're probably easy to grow, but they take up a lot of space. And that was a debate on our land, was because we have a 1/4 acre market garden. And Jamie really wanted to grow potatoes, but they take up a lot of space to grow. And when we have a 1/4 acre to have some potatoes growing, it's just not financially feasible. When we're trying to grow food to not sustain a financial lifestyle. So so we opted out to doing the potatoes. Now, if we had a lot of land, I would be all for it.
I think I saw Celtic Roots doing a potato harvest.
They did.
They did a potato harvest too, Laura. But they had quite a few potatoes in there.
Yeah, I would definitely watch their video but they have 20 acres too. So I'm totally jealous of that and that 20 acres. So
he's also offered some suggestions for growing broccoli and cauliflower. I don't.
Okay.
Agrabah. Agrabah is what you put over. It's like a protector. We have the Agrabah.
Like that shade cloth?
Yeah.
It's
Not
like
a shade cloth.
Not a shade cloth?
No, it can be used as a shade cloth, but it's more protected from the insects and the elements.
Well, Amy also mentioned like, hey, if you want to give it a try, maybe do like a container type grow.
Yeah, that would be good too.
With the potatoes.
Okay. Yeah. No, and that's something that I think would be probably easier for me would be to do like the container, because that way I can move them around.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying anything.
Yeah, we're right now, as you guys know, we're dipping our toe into hydroponics. So we got a lot on the plate. We have a big future here. Mrs. Madison wants to turn this into a serious conglomerate, and I'm trying to baby step it. So I guess we get into microgreen hydroponics and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's going to be interesting for us next year. So Animals. We saw the bunny. What else? What kind of other animals that you guys have on your property?
We really don't have any yet. I mean, we have we have a rabbit, which is very domesticated. It lives inside. It really should be an outside rabbit, but it gets brushed nightly. And it's an indoor rabbit. It has a backpack that it sits in when we go on walks. I love the cat.
That's awesome. Have you seen our rabbit?
Yes.
What kind is it?
I'm not for certain.
What
I
kind
think
is
it's a
it,
Rex.
Laura?
I think it's a mini Rex. Am I right?
You know, honestly, I don't know, because we have, like I said, with the bear, we have just animals running all over the place where we live. And the story of how we got our rabbit was a friend of ours found a bunch of baby rabbits under his compost pile, or under his compost bin, and was trying to find them homes because the parents, I guess, were gone, and it was the end of November. So, you know, it was not a unanimous vote in our house to get the rabbit. But the rabbit did come to the Osiadacz household, and but now it's, you know, he's family. So we have the rabbit, we have our cat, and next spring we have I've not done a video on this yet, but we have a pretty phenomenal chicken coop and chicken run, or a run for the chickens. It's, you know, it's got electricity, it's got water, it's got pretty much all the bells and whistles. So there's really no reason for us not to have poultry. And I have convinced my husband to get some next spring. So I'm excited for that.
We'll have some
We've been watching lots of chicken videos to see which ones we should get.
You know what? I want to get the Easter eggers. So like the ones that they laid all different colors. Those are fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Easter eggers. I'm gonna write that down.
I think what are their names? But they call them Easter eggers.
Yeah.
Is that like their real name?
They're Easter egger, but I think they're Americanas. I'm not 100% certain. I'm not a chicken wrangler or anything like that. But my favorite are the Rhode Island Reds, just from a production standpoint, because they produce a lot of eggs. And they're dual purpose. You can use Rhode Island eggs for meat birds as well. So they tend to get big. So if you want to get into processing birds, you can dip your feet in both ways there. We're definitely going to challenge you to make sure you get those chickens. So, and maybe a couple ducks or geese.
Well, you know, I figure once we have it set up, I can just start sneaking them in.
Good. I don't think anybody would notice.
Yeah, that's how I work on this house. I just show up. Oh, we got goats. I bought goats. Hey, we got pigs. But you know, is the bait. Once we get them on the farm, she falls in love with them and baby them. So I can bring. Only thing I'm not going to bring on this property is a donkey, because she has about 9,790 more subscribers she's got to get before she can get her donkeys. But
it's okay. I'm gonna get one. I'll get a donkey here soon. I'll get a donkey here soon. But I wanted to say something. I wanted to ask you something, Laura. So with that, so you currently have electricity and all that stuff ready to go. I would be like, order in, get those birds.
Yeah, so it's all set up. It's, you know, so it's ready to go, and so I'm excited. We've had so much going on with our house. We remodeled our house when we bought it, and so that was a big process. And then this year, really, I did a video on this, but with all the wildlife we have around here, we have elk, we have bear, we have deer, we have the rabbits.
Awesome.
Keeping the wildlife out of our large garden has been a challenge. And so this year, a ton of energy was spent on fencing. So we spent a lot of money and a lot of time on fencing this year. It kind of looks like a penitentiary. We have the, you know, the things at the end with the electric wires. It's pretty, you know, but we did not have a breach into the garden this year. So it was a success.
Good. Well, don't be surprised if you might receive a gift or two from Madicker Farms. So I'm just throwing it out there. Don't be surprised. You might get it.
A couple roosters.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Laura. They're on their way. We got
Yeah, I don't know if roosters are on the agenda, but yeah.
Oh shoot. Hey, we've got a few. It looks like we've got a few folks in the chat here, and looks like we got Ivy Dorsey. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
For those who don't know Ivy Dorsey, again, I'm going to keep talking about my cousin because he's making some amazing shirts and he has amazing purpose behind him. That's the Dorsey Legendary. Go check him out on Instagram. His father just passed away recently, and he created this apparel company to keep his father's legacy alive. And one unique story about his father was he was a basketball coach for the blind. And that's something I'm very passionate about because my mom is blind. And they had a successful, was the most winningest coach in Mississippi.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So go check him out on Instagram. But to the farming, Lori, I know you say you're selling your husband on the chickens. And then also you guys just figured out the fencing for the animals. What other obstacles do you see on the farm that you guys are trying to wrangle?
There's a lot. One is just, the age of our outbuildings. So one of the videos with Uncle Jeff, you kind of get to see briefly the little barn that's on our property. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done on that building. It actually needs to be raised up out of the dirt in a foundation poured. So just, a lot of investment as far as financial investment into our outbuildings to get them to a place where they are going to last, because I don't necessarily want to put an animal like in there if we're going to have to do work afterwards. So really just getting everything set up so we can better utilize those buildings is one of them. We do have one of the things that's really lovely about, like I said, we actually live in a town on the very outskirts, and it's unusual that we own so much property in a town. But we do, and the codes are really friendly for agriculture. So we're happy about that because and even talking to some of the people that live here, they're just, people stop by all the time and are so excited about what we're doing because they want to see more of that in our community. They don't like where we live. It's we live very close, or we live about an hour away from the Seattle Puget Sound area, and so yeah.
Okay.
And so we've had, especially with COVID, a lot of people moving to our community, and it's a lot of building and a lot of, it isn't feeling as rural, I guess. And so trying to preserve that part of our community, people are just really happy we're doing. So I would say we have a lot of community support. So I think there's actually more pros in what we're doing than cons. People are excited for us. So I really love that. But I would say, the age of the buildings, and then also just, deciding how we're going to use our land. So, on this side, so the half acre, we definitely know, but that's a small piece of land. And so are we going to, convert the other, not the commercial piece, but the other half acre that's empty right now? Are we going to use that for possible livestock or something like that? We haven't decided that yet.
Yeah, I really agree. We have that building concerns as well, and those buildings are amazing buildings, but they're expensive to rehab and back to life. And it's a fine line. Do you tear down that building and rebuild something and distort the history of the property, or do you try to restore what's on the property? And me and Jamie have had some serious conversations about
Yeah.
what stays and what doesn't stay, and how would it be repurposed. And any multi-generational farmers out there that can lend some suggestions
Yeah.
when it comes to these buildings, especially their historical buildings, and any type of funding or any type of ideas we can do to repurpose or get these buildings back to peak conditions. Please drop some comments in the
Yeah.
chat. We appreciate it.
Laura, how do you oh, just a shout out. Sweeney's Creek said that we should get donkeys. There's plenty of them in here that say that we really should get donkeys. Amy's like, hey, let's get donkeys.
Okay.
You know, I'm just throwing it out there. There's lots of people in here that's like, hey, get donkeys, and I'm like, okay, we better get donkeys.
I appreciate it. I love the enthusiasm. Again, if you guys go back to that video, we had a handshake deal, and I'm a man of my word. As soon as she hits 10,000, soon as that it can go 10,000, and 2 seconds later go back down to 9,999.5. Once it hits 10,000, she gets the donkeys. So it doesn't have to stay. So you better tell all your friends, share the live, share the videos, let them know, hey, Jamie wants her donkeys. But into the meantime, a deal is a deal.
Laura, you just let me know when you hit that mark. Let me know. Just send your subs our way, and we'll.
The 10,000, of course, absolutely, 100%.
Let me know, because you've got some really good content over there, Laura. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
Talk to me first, Laura. Make sure my pocketbook. Shoot me a text first.
Just a shout out. We've got Dorsey's Instagram in the chat here. So you guys make sure you check out Dorsey's stuff here. For Dorsey Legendary. And looks like, oh, we got one more here. We got Miss Savannah. She says she wants to see donkeys on the farm. She's gonna get us some subscribers. So yes.
Love you guys. Love enthusiasm.
But hey, Laura, real quick, when you're looking at those buildings, just by all curiosity, like, because when we look at our buildings, it's overwhelming because there's so much work we have to do to so many buildings on the property, and it's like, we work full time. It's difficult when you're working full time, and then of course you have animals on the farm, or you're doing a market garden, or whatever that you're doing. But it's like, how do you put a plan together and say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to look at for this year? Like, what is your vision for your buildings? Like, what's your step? How are you going to do it? Like, what's a thought process?
Yeah, I think it's just one thing at a time. The buildings aren't number one right now. I would say, and we have buildings that you haven't seen that we have to restore too, because we have a lot of buildings on the the area that's commercial that are historical buildings too. So we have lots of plans. I would say in owning, when we took over the commercial property, and this is a little deviated from the farming conversation, so I don't want to go too far into this.
Yeah.
But when we took over the commercial property, it was and we do things differently, my husband and I, with our towing company than his dad and his grandfather did. When we took that property over, there was over 300 cars.
Wow.
And so it's just trying to, and so we've been through kind of that like overwhelming feeling you get when you're like, okay, I want to do something different.
Yes.
And, with that, you just look at different avenues. So just using like history as kind of like a guide for the future and how we've done things here with the property we've purchased over the last 15 years. What we did is, we were like, okay, we want to just get stuff out, right? And so we didn't really look at it as like getting an income. We just brought a company in. We didn't get any money for it. They came in, they closed down the road, they took the cars out, they drained the oil, they squished them in those little squares, and they trucked them out.
Yeah.
And so for us, like that was just like a weight off our shoulders, right? And so, one of the things that I was thinking about with like your buildings, especially like your barn that was, I think, built in the 40s. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Was that in Washington State, there's actually, I think it's through the office. It's a state office of like agriculture, or it's not agriculture. Anyways, it's like historical something.
Yeah.
And there's grants available for old barns in Washington State. So it's actually, I think, like a 50% match. And it's even like your the time you put in, you like if you're working on your own building and you're purchasing materials, like your time is worth money, right?
Yeah.
And so you, for the time you spend, or if you have people helping you, the time they spend, you get to like mark it as prevailing wage, and then that counts towards your 50% match. So like that's a program we've been looking at as far as like being to help financially. And then just kind of one project at a time and prioritizing. I mean, like I didn't get my chickens this year because we just really wanted to focus on the garden and make sure that like things didn't go crazy. And my husband and I both work full-time too, so we have that, right? We have that kind of that same thing going on, and it gets kind of overwhelming, a little bit stressful sometimes. And I think, especially if I don't know, if you guys are kind of like perfectionists by nature. I tend to be pretty type A. So it's hard on me, but like, I'm like, okay, let's just like compartmentalize things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that when
we dabble.
Yeah, we have when we first saw our property, I immediately had a vision board of what the property is going to look like. Not gonna lie, I pictured that, knew what every building was gonna be for and everything.
Yeah.
But the problem was, I haven't hit the lotto yet. So once I hit the lotto,
But even so, like it's the time. So are you a virtual employee, or do you so like is it something where do you find the time? I guess not being a virtual employee, but from like work, do you just have just a short period of time where you can just get stuff done around the house and you have to allocate that time?
No, I actually go into the office. So I get up really early in the morning and get stuff done then. I go into work and then once I'm home, I do things in the evening. So my kids are older. I have, one of my sons is in middle school and the other one is out of high school. So, I don't have as much of that to worry about. But yeah, people do ask me all the time, how are you doing all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because like we're here, like we're virtual employees and we're working from home. But like thinking about what you kind of have going on at your farm, and you're not that virtual employee type environment, you traveling, and then you have we don't have, like, our son is he's out of the house, so it's kind of just me and this guy, and it's like, and you still have your teenager, and it's a lot of time. So I can't even imagine. You have to be very good at time management.
Yeah.
Like you really do.
And that's what her channel mainly talk about, time management.
I think so too.
And making life simple,
Yeah.
Now you talked a little bit about the kids. So you have 2 kids. When it comes to generational farm, what is the plan? How does that work when it's time to pass that down to the kids?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, so we've talked about it in different regards. This property, the home itself, definitely, we want to keep for our children. We do have, one of the reasons we have 2 houses, one that we live in and one across the street, is because we actually were planning on having one for each of the boys.
Cool.
And if they so choose, because like I said, it is getting really expensive to live where we live. Right now, I think I saw a house, and I don't know what house prices are where you are, but things have really gotten expensive here. So right now, I think I just saw about 2 weeks ago a house in our town that's under 1,000 or under 900 square feet. Tiny little house, not in really good condition, for like $540,000 on a city lot.
Wow.
And so it's just like, for people that are like starting out in life, that is really tough. So we want to try to be able to help our kids kind of get established. So we want to be able to do that. And then here on our, it's really important that we keep this house, especially in the family. And then the farm is in a trust. So that will, and we might do that here too. We just, like I said, we're 2 years into the house piece. And so we haven't gone down that road with a trust on our property, but the other properties in a trust. Because, it just to make sure that it stays in the family too.
Yes.
I mean, that's
very important to me.
Well, the plan that you have for the future for your kids is absolutely, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just thinking forward, that's forward thinking for your kids. And I think just giving them the ability to have that as an option, or owning that, or keeping that in the family is just, it means something. It's not because it's an object or anything like that. It means something because there's value behind it more than that. You know what I mean? And that to us is what's so important. And that's, I think, in our lives too, that, we want to build that for our families. We want to have that, you know?
One thing I always tell my son, since he was able to listen, is in order for there to be generational wealth, there has to be generational poverty.
Ooh.
And there's someone has to take a stand and make a change. I come from a humble background, single parent mom who lived off of welfare due to her disability, and we didn't have home ownership in our family, so I didn't know what that looked like, or financial stability. And this is something that I had to learn along the way. So my hat goes off to you and your family, and then also your mom for having setting up those abilities to make sure that something passed on to their kids to help not necessarily stay wealthy, but something that says, hey,
this is ours.
Yeah, this is yours, and you have the ability to make a living if you choose to.
Yeah.
So
And my husband and I mean, if you were to look at like the cars we drive and things like that, like we do really live frugally so that we can do things that will help down the road. We don't necessarily, of course, we live in the moment, but we aren't spending money frivolous. I can't even say the word. Thank you.
Honestly, Laura, if you would ask me to spell it, I'd have no clue.
We're the same way.
But yeah, I mean, so we think it's really important. We don't feel the need to live a flashy lifestyle because, like, we know like what we're doing is way better.
Yeah, more important. Yeah.
So check this out from Celtic Roots. I find a lot of coaching questions really help with making decisions on the farm homestead. One question I start with is, what can I do today, right now, to take one step closer to my goal?
That is deep. We're gonna have to start asking ourselves that, because
we have Post-its, and like, seriously, we're gonna take that one from you guys.
I tell you what, Celtic Roots dropping philosophy knowledge over here.
Like, write a book. Write a book.
Now we're getting closer to our time, Laura, and I want to talk a little bit more about your channel. Tell people how they can follow you and find you on all your different social medias.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know how to answer that other than Osiadacz Family Farm. And it doesn't, by reading it, you wouldn't think it's said that way. But we have a Instagram account as well as Facebook and here on YouTube. And I do try to, on my Facebook and my Instagram, I do share a little bit more of just like kind of like my family stuff too. So it gives you more of an insight of like what's going on with like my kids and things like that.
That's cool. And
I honestly, like, I love the cracker video. Like, that's something that I can actually make. I don't know if he would eat it, but I could totally make that.
You don't like crackers?
He just won't eat my cooking, Laura.
It takes a special palate, a strong stomach, and my doctor said that I had to inch into it. I got a doctor written note when it comes to eating her food.
If you guys haven't seen, one of our moderators dropped the Osiadacz Family Farm Facebook and Instagram links in the chat. So make sure you guys check them out, follow her.
Definitely get over there.
And then also one of our mods, Lydia, she also had mentioned that her great grandfather bought a home and some farmland for each of his 3 kids.
Oh, that is awesome.
I still have family members that live off of this since my dad retired. My uncle is farming. Smartest investment ever. Laura, you're building that. You built that for your kids.
And I think there's a lot of like-minded people in this chat today that's doing the exact same thing. And this is not necessarily segmented to farming. I mean, you can do anything and pass on a legacy to your kids. So even though we're talking about farming today, that could be if you, like my son talks about glass blowing. He wants to start his own glass blowing company. Don't know where that came from.
No idea.
But if he gets it off the ground, he's able to blow glass. More power to him. And if he wants to pass that down,
let him do it.
Exactly. But there's so many different facets. I mean, this is not necessarily segmented to farming, even though we're talking about farming. You can take this information and turn it into something that you're passionate about. Set that foundation today for your kids, your future generation, so they have something that they can take and grow even bigger for their generation, their kids. So that's my challenge for everybody. Take that information. I mean, this is amazing chat. We do appreciate you guys here. Laura, we're gonna say bye here to you. We're gonna drop you back over, and then we're gonna close this out. It was I appreciate
Laura,
you.
this was amazing. Seriously, this was great. I mean, we were so nervous about this, and you
make this easy for us.
You made it easy.
Thank
you. Well, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you, we did put you as part of our familia. So
yes, you are on our feature. You're in our feature on our channel. So if anybody's looking for Laura and you're subscribed to us, you can check out our featured section for our channels. You'll find Laura in there for Osiadacz Family Farm. So check her out. If you haven't checked her out yet, go over there. She's got some really good stuff. You can learn a lot from Laura for her back to basics type of channel. So check Laura out and help her out. Make sure you hit that sub button and drop some comments in her videos for us, okay? Laura, we will definitely be checking out your videos as you post them. We learn a lot from you, and
we're going to grow together.
We will. We'll absolutely grow together. So thank you for joining us.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to drop you off, Laura. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to wrap this up here, folks. And Corey, I just want to make mention here, Corey, it's a way of life and a way to live that creates generations of quality people. Children can move away from the farm, but the farm and rural life never leaves the child.
That is so true. That is deep. Corey, that should be a t-shirt.
Oh, we should make it a
I just copyrighted it.
Boom.
TM,
stole it.
Ryan's.
It's ours. Sorry, yes. Corey.
Boom.
I don't think you own the rights to that one, Corey.
But back to as I was saying, guys, what we're talking about here, like I said, is not caveat to just farming. It's any aspect in life. There's so many different things that you guys can take from our channel and put it into your passion. Our passion is growing the land and learning.
Yeah.
And we try to share a little bit snippet of our life on a daily basis with you guys.
By far not perfect.
At all.
Nope.
We're far from it.
Nope.
But she makes it look good. She does.
I don't. I don't. But I tell you what, there's a lot of folks in this chat that we get a lot of great information from.
Yes.
And the support that we've gotten from each and every single one of you guys. There's a lot of our family members in the chat. You guys, that means the world to us that you came. A lot of our YouTube community is here. I can't tell you enough. We appreciate the support because this is difficult for us.
Yeah, it's not easy putting your life out there, you know.
No.
But one trade-off of what we said, if we're trying to get people to trust us to put what we're growing, consume what we're growing in their body, we should show them who we are, and that's why we do it. And we hoping people learn from it and say, hey, this is something. If Ryan and Jamie can do it, it's definitely something that I can do. Yeah. It's you gotta just take that first leap. It may not be easy, and as I said earlier, my words, everybody has different ingredients. Might be cornbread or cake, but
Yep,
you know.
that's for you, AJ Lewis. Cornbread or cake,
But,
buddy. We got you. We got you. And also, Rooted Carrot Co-op Market. We are rooting for all our local farmers. We are excited. We
yeah.
are excited for our market garden. I know.
Yes.
I've seen Celtic Roots they have a market garden, and I know that they were talking about the farmers market. So it's like we're finding some correlation with some people, and we can learn a lot. I mean, we have a lot to learn, and we're really looking forward to seeing what people are posting and what we can pick up.
Yes. Any final comments? Anything that anybody has out there, question for us that you want to ask? Please shoot them out right now. We'll be happy to answer them for you. And I do want to, like I said, we're not lawyers, but the biggest thing is making sure that you having that will, that trust set up.
Plan for your future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're like I said, we're not lawyers, and we're not going to tell you how to do that.
But we know some good ones.
But I'm not going to plug in the lawyers neither here. But what I will say is make sure you do your research. Everything I always tell you, do your research. Make sure that you do what's works for you. And that's how we live on this channel. What we do may not work for you. So
we've definitely there's Miss Asd, Mrs. Shia. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We see you. We see you. And look, Celtic Roots is going to be dropping some more knowledge on us. We'll take it. We will absolutely take it. We will print it off. And if we put it on a t-shirt, we'll let you know. We will let you know. All right, folks. We're not going to take too much more of your time here. We seriously,
we love each one of you guys. This means the world to us.
Yeah.
This is our very first live. Hopefully it was a successful live. Hopefully you guys took something from this live. And make sure you, as always, tell a million friends or two. And as well, how we leave off this channel. Peace.
Thank you guys so much.
Love you guys.
Take it easy. Take care.
And this is a legacy that we're going to be able to leave to future generations of little Madisons, because this farm is never going to go anywhere. It's always going to be in the Madison name, and we're going to make sure of that.